Hi folks, Shane here, once again, with Shane's Premier League review show for match week 27. It's nice to be back with the review show once again, after a long break, as I had a lot of pressing issues on my mind recently, but now it's back for the foreseeable future, and obviously, sorry I didn't get around to doing the prediction show last week either, or in the last couple of weeks, obviously because of the cup. But I was really stressed over the last while. So, but not anymore. Those issues have been resolved, and now I'm ready to crack on with more wonderful shows for your enjoyment. So here we go. Last time out in the Premier League, this is what happened. Spurs took on Arsenal at Wembley in the first game a couple of weeks ago, and Harry Hotshot Kane came up with a wonderful winner, with Spurs creating numerous other chances. But however, Arsenal were unlucky not to equalise at various stages too. But if Spurs had taken all their chances, we'd say maybe 5-2 would have been a fair result. But it could have been any score really, but it ended up 1-0 Spurs, with Arsenal unlucky and not to get an equaliser if you were to look at it from their point of view. Lacazette coming closest. But fair play to Spurs, they dominated but never took all the chances. On to Everton and Crystal Palace. This game really sparked into life in the second half after a real drab, lacklustre first half. Everton scored twice within about 5 minutes. Umar Niasse and Gylfi Sigurdsson and Tom Davis were in with the goals for the Toffees, and then we had a penalty for Crystal Palace with a few minutes to go from Luka Milivojevic from the spot. A good goal with Pickford getting a hand to it though. It wasn't enough to keep it out. 3-1 this game finished at Goodison to give the Toffees a good win over the London side. So we'll move on again. Stoke City and Brighton. This game was entertaining. It ended up 1-1. Izquierdo gave Brighton the lead with a wonderful finish into the bottom corner. Stoke equalised through Johan Shaqiri in the second half, I think it was. A little bit long ago now to remember, but I think I'm right anyway. And then with basically the dying embers of the match, Stoke City were awarded a penalty, and surprise, everybody gathered around the ball, wanted to take the penalty, wanted to be the hero, and there was a bit of a scuffle, unfortunately. I can't understand how this occurs at this level, but it did, and it obviously caused disruption, and Charlie Adam ended up taking the penalty eventually after about maybe 2 minutes of a delay, and others having to be calmed down, but that's what happened. And subsequently, Charlie Adam managed to miss the penalty. It was a great save from the Brighton keeper, however. The big Aussie in goal for them there. And after he saved the penalty, Adam had another chance, but there was a marvellous tackle thrown in by one of the Brighton defenders, if memory serves me right. And then Charlie Adam nearly scored directly from a corner. But it wasn't to be, and there was also another shot clear off the line for the Potters. And 1-1 it finished up. It was a great point for the Seasiders, however, and they went back to Brighton I'd say, relatively happy. The fans did. So we'll move on now. Swansea and Burnley. This was a tight affair. Game with very few chances. It looked to have 0-0 written all over it until about 10 minutes to go when Ki Sung-yeon scored a wonderful shot into the bottom corner of the net to give Carvajal's side a marvellous victory, and a much needed one as well, to keep their upward curve going, to say the least. As for Burnley, they're doing pretty okay at the moment, and that was a bit of a blip, and it's been up and down since after the Christmas period, or during and after the Christmas period, shall we say. But they'll be fine. West Ham and Watford. This was a crucial game in the second half of the table. Both teams are in with a chance of getting relegated. However, West Ham eased them fears with a well-deserved 2-0 victory. Javier Hernandez scoring a good header, and Arnautovic scoring another goal in the second half after the ball ricocheted in the box, and it was a good instinctive finish. Watford came close to through Delafeu, but West Ham were the better team on the day and deserving winners. So, we'll move on to King Sergio Aguero and his performance against Leicester City. This game ended up 5-1 to Manchester City, with Aguero grabbing 4 of the goals by himself, and there were 4 crackers, really. Really, really good goals. If you haven't seen them, you should watch them for yourself, folks, because they were really marvellous. Leicester gave as good as they got, however, in the first half, and they scored a goal through Jamie Vardy to equalise from Raheem Sterling's early header. I think it was a header anyway, but it was a good goal nonetheless. Well worked. It's 2 weeks ago now, folks, so forgive me for any mistakes. And City ran out easy winners in the end, obviously, and they look to be marching towards the title. On to Sunday's fixtures now. That week, Huddersfield took on Bournemouth. It was a wonderful win for Huddersfield. Pitchard and Steve Mooney were in amongst the goals for them in a 4-1 victory. Stanislas scored for Bournemouth in amongst an own goal from Cook, and Van La Parra scored as well. So fair play to the Terriers there. They've a good chance of staying up with their battling spirit under David Fagner, as they say. So now, on to the second game a couple of weeks ago on the Sunday, and that was Newcastle and Man United. Newcastle shocked United, really. United had their chances through Sanchez and Lukaku, but they failed to convert. And then, with about maybe 20-25 minutes to go in the game, Chris Smalling managed to comically fall over and expect a free kick to go his way. But, unfortunately, the referee had a brain about him for once. And that goes for every referee, really. They make a few farcical decisions every now and then. But I think it was Kevin Friend refereeing this game, and fair play to him. He managed to spot what was going on, and he he managed to book Chris Smalling, and as a result, Newcastle got a free kick which they whipped into the box, and United tried to clear it, they couldn't, and it fell to Matt Ritchie, and he rifled the ball into the net past David De Gea to give the Magpies a wonderful, wonderful victory. And Newcastle have got a new keeper on loan as well. Martin Deravreka. Excuse the pronunciation for the moment. I haven't heard his name enough. But nevertheless, he played an absolute blinder to keep out United, along with his wonderful defenders, and a much deserved victory, as I might have alluded to already, for the Magpies. So now we'll wander on. Southampton took on Liverpool at St Mary's, and this was a comfortable win for the Reds, but they were wearing a luminous orange, a kit which they're actually unbeaten in this season, and they're absolutely flying it in it, scoring plenty of goals. The goals a couple of weeks ago came from Mohamed Salah, Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino. In a 2-0 victory for the Reds. And it was really comfortable as well. They had numerous chances. Mane having a good few as well. And Van Dijk looking really, really comfortable at the back. So, fair play to Liverpool there. And the final game of the weekend, so Chelsea take on West Brom. Chelsea had a comfortable victory with Eden Hazard stealing the show in a 3-0 victory. However, West Brom gave as good as they got for a lot of the game, but they ran out of steam in the end, and Chelsea prevailed. So that's what happened that week, a couple of weeks ago. However, I'm sure everybody would be interested to know how exactly I got on. Well, I predicted in the first game that week that Spurs would beat Arsenal by 3-1. The result was 1-0 to Spurs. I got 10 points for that, as I got the correct result and not the outcome, which happens most of the time, as I'm sure you've gathered from hearing my previous predictions. There's always time for that to change, though. Don't lose trust yet. However, on we go. Everton managed to beat Crystal Palace 3-1. Again, 10 points for that. I went for a Stoke victory over Brighton 2-0, but it ended up 1-1. I was unlucky not to get that result, as Charlie Adam missed a penalty, as I alluded to earlier. I thought Swansea and Burnley would end up goalless. Swansea grabbed a late goal, so that's I had my safety on that, so that cost me nothing. I went for Watford to win over West Ham. I was horribly wrong there. West Ham managed to win 2-0, so -10 there for that. Manchester City and Leicester, I got the result right there, but or the outcome right there, but not the correct result, obviously. I went for 3-1. And that got me 20 points, as I had my banker bonus on the TalkSport game. And then I went for a 0-0 draw in Huddersfield and Bournemouth. Again, I was frightfully wrong there. Huddersfield managed to come up with 4 goals for the first time this season in one game. Credit to them. in a 4-1 victory, another -10 there. And Newcastle and Manchester United, I went for a 2-0 win for United, but as I alluded to earlier, they failed to take their chances. So Newcastle won 1-0 after the dive I mentioned. Chris Smalling paid for it big time, thank God. And -10 obviously for that. And I got the Liverpool outcome right as well. I went for 3-0. They ended up winning 2-0, so that was 10 points. And 10 points for the Chelsea game that I went for 2-0, and the result was 3-0. And that gave me a total of 30 points. Plus a bank of, the 30 points included a banker bonus of 10 as well. So not the best of weeks for me there. That time around, I think I got 5 results altogether. Yes, 5 results altogether. So halfway there. Not bad going, I suppose. So there you go. And as for my fantasy picks for that week, they're worth a mention. As my team managed to get me 105 points. I had De Gea in goal. That wasn't the best pick. He got me 2 points. Tompkins, he got me 1 point. Long, he got me 2 points. The Burnley defender. Dunk for Brighton, he got me 2 points as well. And then my midfield was quite powerful. I had Eden Hazard, he got me 16 points. Mane got me 3 points. Salah got me 26, I had him as my captain. And Sterling got me 8. And then the forward line was Firmino, 12 points. Aguero, 21, due to his 4 goals, as I alluded to. And Umar Nias, 12 points. So, a good result for me in fantasy a couple of weeks ago. So that's it, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the review show of the match week. I'll be back again with the prediction show later on today. So look out for that. Take care of yourselves. All the best from Shane.